Welcome back. So officials in the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality are requesting more resources to fight crime in the area. Mayor Babalwa Lobishe says criminals are operating with impunity. Despite the deployment of 150 public order policing unit members, 12 detectives and several crime intelligence officers to the metro. Mayor Lobishe joins us now for more. Mayor, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. So quite a bit of resources here. 150 public order policing unit members, 12 detectives, and you say this is not enough. I mean, how do you characterize crime in Nelson Mandela Bay?
I think it's a sad moment for all of us that reside in the region, because almost daily we get the news of shootings that leave families with no loved ones. And I think if we're not going to bring a social compact on the matter and be able to fight this with our communities, we'll find ourselves with no one left for us to lead and no one to take over the sustainability of the city forward. So hence we are making the call, a strong call to the president to bring us more resources that will aid us in fighting and combating the surge. And as well, we are calling for him to close the network connection in all correctional services. We're also calling for him to build prisons, because all these criminal elements that are happening in the city are done 90% of the time by those who are either on bail and who are repeated offenders, and those who are also out on parole. So it's just a spit on the judiciary process, which we are saying enough is enough. Let our government allow us to utilize the second option of changing the laws of the country by petition. We want to collect 600,000 signatures so that we move a motion in Parliament, if it's going to be allowed by the president, for us to be able to get the necessary help that we need.
And so that call for that petition, essentially, that you're making is not just for more resources, but you also would like to implement a curfew, Mayor.
If it's what the president is going to be pronouncing on, because what we are actually saying is that give us the necessary aid. If he finds it fit for the curfew to be done in the city, all we want is his ear that will come with drastic changes. Human resource has been brought forward by our Minister of Police. It has not yielded much results. Yes, there's a drop in the percentage of crime, but in terms of matters, nothing has happened. So to bring human resource and not bring the latest technology on surveying and surveillance, and also necessary resource in terms of the latest technology on curbing these crime incidents from happening. Instead of us now, we are being reactive. Whenever something has happened, we will wait and investigate, which is not what we want. We are saying every life matters. Let our government fight the fight with us and be more advanced than criminals. So in the manner that this crime is treated, it's as if it's business as usual, and that's not what we want.
What would a curfew look like, Mayor? Because essentially, if we're asking for that as an option, there is also the argument that could be made that, well, now what we're doing is we're limiting the freedom of residents in Nelson Mandela Bay simply because perhaps law enforcement is unable to deal with the problem of crime.
Well, hence we are saying curfew might not be the only option that can be explored. But if the president sees it fit that curfew can be utilized, we are going to accept that. As we have started to discuss this matter, we are also exploring options of making sure that there are daily roadblocks which we will be holding with subs. Even tomorrow morning, we're supposed to be going for a budget discussions in the provincial legislature, but we said before we can do that, let's meet with the police and try and find a solution jointly in terms of how best do we circumvent more deaths from happening in the city.
Yeah, talk to me about just how well organized some of the crime is that you're seeing in the city. I mean, one of the things that I'm noting is a teacher, for instance, kidnapped in absolute broad daylight. Very concerning there. You've also had visitors from the US robbed in Motherwell. There's a sense, obviously, that some of these crimes quite well organized in. The concerns perhaps that you may have in just how high up some of these syndicates may go?
Well, I think let's applaud the leadership of SEPS in the US delegation, where all their cars and their assets were found time. And we applaud them for that. But I think it's an occurrence that is not supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
And what is also disturbing is that criminality is happening more in the townships. And we are saying we can't have freedom limited in certain areas of our town. Hence, we are saying this intensification of our partnership with private sector needs to happen as in yesterday. So that we merge all the resources we have for the optimization of those resources to benefit us in terms of fighting crime. We are running an economic hub in the city. We can't shut down, but with the rate of how things are happening, it's pushing us to that corner, and it might have dire consequences. Hence, we are saying national government must come to our aid and be able to salvage the situation.
Yeah. Well, talk to us about the next steps that you'll be taking and certainly the call that you're making to residents that are living in Nelson Mandela Bay.
Well, tomorrow we are meeting with the district director of SAPS so that we look at the our memorandum of incorporation in terms of how best do we explore its clauses for the benefit of the city. One would understand that there are hotspot areas that are known both by us and SAPS, and we are of the view that if we can join our forces and deal with the areas that have these arms and close them down, we should be able to have meaningful achievements within a short space of time. But we have not stopped to collect signatures electronically and physically in all the 39 halls, because what we aim to do is to get the attention of the president for us to be able to have meaningful resources that will aid us. We want to run this metro freely. We want to walk the streets in the manner that is prescribed in the Constitution and not be scared because we are going to be harassed or we are going to be killed. So that's our plan of action.
All right. Well, we look forward to getting an update on certainly how far you're able to get with that cause. And thank you so much for speaking to us. Mayor Babalwa Lobishe there of the Nelson Mandela Bay.